Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about books slash series I want to finish slash I want to start in 2021. So basically I love to plan, and so I'm basically planning my entire reading for the year. So there will be a lot of overlap between this video and my authors I want to read from slash authors I want to read more from. But I will link those both below because obviously some of them are mentioned but some of them are not mentioned, but I want to try and get to the authors I mentioned. But these are like top priority. First, I will talk about some series that I'm in the middle of that I want to finish slash continue on with. I'm very good for finishing series, so there is literally 3 that I'm going to mention. So the first series that I want to finish is the Ember Quartet by Sabathir, and to finish that I only have to read the final book, which is A Sky Beyond the Storm. I definitely should be able to do that next year, even though I haven't been hearing the greatest reviews of this. So this series follows Leia, who is a scholar girl whose family has been killed and her brother taken, and she joins the resistance and spies on the commandant in Blackcliff in exchange for them to help rescue her brother. And then the other perspective that we follow, at least in the first book, there's more added, is Elias, who is a mask at Blackcliff. He is one of the students who shows the greatest potential and all of that, but he does not want to be there, and he is making an escape plan. So then the second book that I want to finish, which I'm not sure is it going to be like a trilogy, but at least get up to date on, is The Carls by Hank Green. I read an absolutely remarkable thing last year, I think. I think it is a really fun and interesting story with characters that are relatable, but they're not great characters. They are very human characters. There's like kind of first contact with aliens, but there's also a story about how fame affects people, and I thought it was a really interesting story, and I need to read the second book. It came out in like July, I think, and I didn't get to it. The next one, this is a series I want to continue because I'm not finishing that series, which I mean I'm going to finish some series within the whole series, and that is The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I started that series like in March. And I'm 5 books in, so yeah, I'm reading this along with other people for Elderling Along, hosted by Becca in the Books, and I am loving this series so much. I still have the last book in the live ships, which I'll read in January, and then I think they're taking like a 2 or 3 month break, and then it's the Tawny Man trilogy, so I'll probably get through those. And then there's 4 Rain Wild books, and then there's the final trilogy. I'm not going to read all of those next year because I want to read them along with the group, and I think Becca was saying in the last live show that it's going to be like September 2022 or something by the time we're finished. So that's exciting. And so those are all of the series that I want to continue slash finish. Also, this is not including books that are sequels that are only coming out this year. Those will all be found in my 2021 anticipated releases, which, if I'm thinking correctly, will be the video that was up before this. So now I'm going to talk about series slash books that I really want to get to them this year. Either I've been putting them off or they've been getting a lot of hype. I haven't been able to pick them up yet. First one is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I'm honestly not even sure what this is about. I know it's about Achilles, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. Patroclus. I know it's about those two and Greek mythology retelling. Lots of people love it. Hopefully I will too. Also, maybe Cersei. I did say previously, I have said that I want to read Cersei before I read The Song of Achilles because supposedly Cersei isn't as good. So I feel like if I read The Song of Achilles first and then read Cersei, I would be let down. So I kind of want to read Cersei first, but also I don't really care about that one, I don't think. Then next on my list is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. As I said in my 2021 reading goals, I'm definitely more interested in adult fantasy, and this series is now finished, so I would love to start it and maybe complete it in the year of 2021. It is a dark fantasy, and a lot of it is based in actual historical events. So it follows a young woman. She gets into a military academy that nobody expected her to be able to get into. Honestly, I'm not even sure what it's about, but I know it's supposed to be good. So I'm gonna read it. Then the next ones are the Broken Earth trilogy, which I'm getting these for Christmas, so I am definitely going to read them, and I'm so excited for them. They sound so interesting to me. I believe it follows like life-ending events which they can't really stop. And so basically civilization, it gets broken down every time one of these happens. So then they have to start again and try and build up, and they try and make it better and better each time. And I believe it follows a couple of perspectives. I know there is a second person perspective in the first book anyway, and I believe it follows like a mother who is looking for her child, and it follows like some magic users, which I believe the magic users, they, like most people, they don't see them as helpful. They kind of question whether they're the ones behind it. So it sounds so interesting. Then I'm going to talk about Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I've been saying this for ages, I'm gonna read it. I also have Warbreaker on my shelves, so I'll probably also read that. The Dark Lord won, and now there's kind of like a resistance building up, and there's magic where you ingest metals, and each metal has a different power, and if you can ingest them all, then you're a Mistborn. Then I would also love to read The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Also just some other T.J. Klune books. Like The Extraordinaries also sounds really interesting. But this book, just everyone loves it. Like even people who don't usually love like sweet stuff have been adoring this book, and I'm like, I need this in my life. I believe it follows this, basically he's a very boring kind of follow the rules kind of guy, and he works for like this magical organization, and he gets sent off to this like house in the Cerulean Sea, which is filled with magical children who could potentially end the world. And he is told there to go there kind of as an inspection, but they're nearly looking for him to spy. But then I believe he kind of grows really attached to the children and the guy in charge there. So it sounds so cute. Another one that I am getting for Christmas is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, and I'm also getting Kingdom of Copper, and I have to wait for Empire of Gold to come out in paperback. But I'm getting the first two, and I am so excited. Again, this is just another adult fantasy that has been getting so much hype, and everyone, again, they really seem to love it. I know the first book can be like a bit slow, and it is a lot of world building and character building and just figuring out the magic system and all that, which I don't mind that. And then I think it just gets like crazier and crazier, and I can't wait for it. It follows this woman in Cairo. It says that she kind of has these powers where she can tell what's wrong with you, and actually I think she can actually tell what's wrong with you, but if she knows that someone is rich, she will let on that they are sicker than they actually are. And so her friend, who owns like an apothecary, then splits profits with her if she like sends rich people her way to buy a load of stuff. And then one day she accidentally summons a Jinn warrior, and then she gets taken to the City of Brass. I also really want to read Middle Game by Sean McGuire. I have read the Wayward Children series. I'm excited to get to it. I know Books and Lala absolutely adores it, and same with Maddie from Books Browsing Blog. I don't know, it sounds really weird and strange. It follows these two twins who are like basically separated at birth, Roger and Dodger. Roger is really good with words and like languages and stuff, and then Dodger, she's really good with maths and numbers and all of that. And they were separated, but they kind of keep coming across each other, and I'm not sure, can they like speak to each other in like their heads or something? I'm not 100% sure. But the person in charge of like this experiment, he kind of wants to nearly elevate them to like god status and then take that for himself. This book is probably the one I need to read the most. Like, shout at me to read this. And that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I haven't read it yet. I haven't read it. I literally have it saved on my script. I have that and On the Come Up saved on my script, and I'm like, I'm gonna read it, and I still haven't read it. This is such a hype book. It has, I don't know, how many weeks has it been on like the New York Times bestseller list? So many. So this follows a teenage girl who is like in the car or something with one of her friends, and the two of them are pulled over, and then her friend is shot by the police. And obviously it's a very important topic, and so then I swear I've constantly talking about how I want to read this series, and I have not read it yet. That is The Diviners by Libba Bray. It follows a group of individuals in 1920s New York. I believe Evie is one of the main characters, and can she like see the past of an object by touching it or something? I don't know. There's all of these diviners, they have like different abilities. I'm not sure do all of them have abilities, but they try and like go out and capture this like murderer. Honestly, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if I didn't read it. I've been saying that I'm going to read it for about 3 years now, and I just never read it. mostly because I can't get my hands on the paperbacks that all match, and I want that. The last book came out earlier this year, so now I can just binge them all. So I just read the first one. That is my goal. Read the first book. I also want to read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is a story which follows two magicians throughout the years as they compete in this magical competition. I know that it's just a very like magical, whimsical, it's not very like heavy fantasy kind of. It's not really fully explained. Another series which scream at me to read these and that is The Heroes of Olympus by Rick Riordan. I read the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series about 3 years ago, and I am now rereading them. And if I do not read The Heroes of Olympus after I have reread the Percy Jackson series, scream at me. That is all I can say about it. I don't even know, but I know that it's not just told from Percy Jackson's perspective, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, because I really love being in Percy's head. But I'm excited to see more. And then I have one last series, and this one kind of has a question mark around it because I'm gonna ask you whether you think I would like it. That is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I have been quite interested in it, but I believe that it's very dystopian, and if you know, I'm kind of just saying that I don't really want to read many dystopians anymore. I know there's like a clairvoyant element to it, so I'm not 100% sure is it a dystopian or not. Because if it is a dystopian, I'm not sure will I read it. Tell me like what is a series that you must get to this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!